Hello all, it is I, the Beast, and I'm back with yet another fantastic installment of Beastly Reviews. And why do you ask, am I buried in wrestling figures? Good question. The reason is because today we're going to discuss the Ringside Collectibles year-end sale haul. And we're going to discuss a couple of figures we got here, starting with Ultimate Edition Brock Lesnar, Kylie O'Reilly from the Undisputed Era, Keith Lee, which I have no idea why I purchased this because I don't even like him, Shawn Michaels, Roderick Strong, also from the Undisputed Era, Ravishing Rick Rude, and look at how ravishing he is, John Morrison, Robert Fish, also of the Undisputed Era, Legend Jerry the King Lawler, and last but certainly not least, Big This. Oh, and look at the size of this stack, hey? This is quite the haul right here. And I'm glad that you're here for this because now we are going to open each and every one of these figures right now. I'm just kidding. Who's got time for all that noise? Certainly not me. Rather, they're all opened already. It was an optical illusion showing them all to be in the packages like that. But I am going to be blathering about on wrestling figures for the next, hopefully less than 10 minutes. So if you're not really interested in wrestling figures, this might not be the video for you, but fear not! Fear not! Because I have some fantastic stuff ahead just for you. I promise you that. And if you love the food reviews, there's going to be plenty more of those. Right, so anyway, today we're going to talk about the Ringside Collectibles haul from New Year's, and rather than go into excruciating detail over all this, I'll just mention a few of the standout items that I felt like, feel sort of good for this kind of a video. Anyway, without further ado, shall we move on? So, Ravishing Rick Rude himself. And we saw him with his, look at him gyrating. Oh, it's mesmerizing in a way. This actually is a figure that I had previously, but this is a chase version, which means the original came in a completely different sort of design. This is the more iconic design with the Intercontinental Championship spray-painted or airbrushed around the waist, and of course, a picture of himself on his ass. Pretty much all of these figures come with their own hands. He comes with a spare set of hands as well, but also this handy-dandy robe that is in a plastic bag because these robes, these cloth goods, do tend to stain the figures if they're left on for too long, which, good choice in this case. Anyway, moving along. Okay, so I mentioned someone that very briefly mentioned. I'm not that big of a fan of this guy, but this Keith Lee figure is, I don't know much about him honestly, but this figure is cool looking. I like the sort of different side, sort of body. It's not the same typical body that you would see. I like large action figures, like the X-Men figures had Juggernaut. I like the big ones, or Apocalypse. Not just a typical one where that's used very basic sort of body style. This one definitely applies. Look at the he's got the beef, but he's also got a bit of flab around the middle. And I like that, because it makes me not feel super insecure when I'm looking at wrestling figures. But anyway, it comes with this, and his very, wherever it is, oh, there it is. His very unflattering entrance attire, which I can't be asked to put back on. So, moving right along, next figure will be, and as I stated, I do love big figures. They don't come any bigger than Big This. If you're familiar with the Mabel figure, it's basically the exact same figure as evidenced by the sort of flowy, disco MC Mick Hammer-esque sort of pantaloons he's got here. But this guy would be good for a potential Vader figure later because it comes with Vader hands. Oh yeah. Right? V, Vader, this, right. Moving right along, and moving down to the nitty-gritty of it all. This Shawn Michaels figure came with Paul Ellering legs for the Builder figure. But I must say that I'm very impressed with the two-tone hairstyle, because this is significant, as this is basically around the time of maybe 92, right after he left the Rockers, when he had the bleach blonde hair, but I guess it kind of grew out, so it's two-tone, which is pretty badass. This entrance attire is pretty cool. The waist's a little loose, but I like the entrance attire, aside from the whole sort of beefy, flowy shoulders where you can do nothing but this, but I'm not really sure what the other option would be. The middle piece is absolutely divine. I kind of love how it's all jingly-jangly, not just all sort of falling down about in just sort of a straight sort of way. Cool effect. Although it is marred a little bit by the shoulders and the whole, oh my god, I am so itchy, if I move an inch, I'm going to break out into hives sort of position that he's in right now. But phenomenal figure nonetheless. And of course he also came with his own hands, which again I can't be bothered to pick up every single bit of hands. Especially on a video like this that I don't want to be excruciatingly long and painful for anyone, other than myself, of course. Right, moving along. One of, I purchased from NXT. I've been trying to complete the Undisputed Era set, as we have Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Rowdy Roderick Strong, the Rowdy one himself. All in their camo attire from, I believe it was War Games 2019. But that's neither here nor there. These figures are very impressive. The belts that they come with are incredibly badass. Roderick actually doesn't come with this. This is actually from this, but I just needed to put it... When it goes in the bin, it needs to go on someone that can actually fit in it. And as you can see right here, he's been spending a little too much time at McDonald's for this to even fit anywhere nearly around his waist. So, just so that the Rowdy one, Roderick Strong, can not feel left out, he can also have his own undisputed belt as well. We are still waiting for a matching Adam Cole figure, but hopefully that will be coming to us in short order. But one thing I really do need to mention on this is that all of these figures, this is actually one where I'll actually mention the hands individually. All of these do come with their very own Undisputed Era hands, where they're all doing the sort of... There's one where they're all sort of doing the Undisputed Era symbol insignia, so you can pop off the fingers and hands and display them in a way where they're actually doing the, the gesture. But Bobby Fish weirdly comes with the RVD, also thumb hands. But all of the Undisputed Era figures come with Undisputed Era t-shirts. These two are packaged with the belts and nothing else. But the one area that I really want to mention is that Roderick came with not just the shirt, not just the hands, but also a chair, and he actually has his own removable Undisputed Era armband. Whereas these two do not, and I unfortunately am pretty upset about that, because I don't feel as awesome as the belts are, don't get me wrong, they are quite awesome. They could have just thrown in the little armband so they can all be one, right? It's a little weird that they only have the, what are these, just sort of honorary members? They're just painted on or something? It's unbelievable. But anyway, can't win them all, right? Next is, and this is quite possibly one of my favorites, John Morrison, with a face that's actually very convincing. And, when I first saw the proto-figures, when I first saw the proto-photos, that is, very easy for me to say, I thought the face was going to be a bit too fat, like the most recent Dolph Ziggler, where it's good likeness, but the fatness of the face, actually, Rick Rude has a little bit of that sort of effect, but the fatness of the face takes away from the overall likeness, but that's not the case here. This actually turned out tremendously. And he comes with a jacket, which is actually quite well done, and good design all over the pants and booties, and of course he comes with his Johnny Mundo-esque glasses / bandana combination, which does not look terribly great when it's on, because the The glasses don't go exactly rest on the nose like you would want them to, but it still looks pretty cool. Good effort. Top notch right here. Moving on to another fantastic figure. Great effort here. Mr. Jerry the King Lawler, which they've released a few Jerry Lawlers. The first one I would say was Elite 17, 16, 17, 18, 18 maybe, which is a more current one where the head looked absolutely nothing like him. Then they released another one in Legends, I believe it was a Hall of Fame series a few bits ago, which is his classic Memphis attire with goatee, very much like my own right here, but no mustache, which was a horrible look in my opinion, but very iconic for Mr. Lawler. This goes to his WWF 1993-1994 feuding with Bret Hart sort of look, and the detail here is exquisite. I love the designs on the pants. It's got the boot crowns and the white on the soles. The color scheme is fantastic. It's a new crown mold. The only beef that I really have with this figure is that the hair is not really super reminiscent. He's got a bit of a terrible mullet right here. This is just absolutely dreadful mullet. I've never even seen anything quite this bad in real life. But I mean, I guess he had one of these, but it was definitely not around this time period. So if there were any beef whatsoever for this figure, I would say that hairstyle would be it. And finally, probably the best piece in this entire series, believe it or not, and I've been very critical of the Ultimate series from Mattel. Ultimate Brock Lesnar. This is not the best head. I don't know what they were going with right here. It looks like he's terrified, but I guess it's a good likeness overall. It's just not really looking fantastic. Ah! Oh no! Basic gateway. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, comes with a belt. Comes with not one, not two, but 3 heads in addition to the one that you just witnessed. Comes with this good sort of borderline regular ass head. Just a regular design, regular sort of, can you see it? There it is. Very normal. And of course, Kevin McAllister. Home Alone head. So, I would say that by far and away the best one is the regular one, with second place being this one right here. Bonus points right here for the shirt being a nice tight fit. The hat is removable, of course, which is fantastic. The fists are new, they're large, they're very Lesnar-esque, they're pretty appropriate compared to the ones that they were using before, which I believe were just Undertaker hands. But the area where this really exceeded expectations, and like I said, I haven't typically liked the way that the Ultimates have turned out with the torsos and the legs being sort of stick-like and just, cartoony. This really works out really well between the placement of the torso, sort of going underneath the nipple area right there. This really, really is a fantastic sort of representation of the Beast incarnate. And a fantastic figure also comes with World Heavyweight Championship belt. Alright. Anyway, that is the haul. So what I'm going to do really quick here is just sort of do a rundown of the top 5 that I received. And I would say, starting with number 5, I guess number 5 would probably have to be Keith Lee. I'm not a terrible fan of his. At the same time, though, this body is really good. It's very convincing. It looks basically exactly as it should. Big, burly guy who doesn't really do crunches or diet or anything. Fair enough. Number 4 would have to be Mr. the Rowdy One, Roderick Strong, because solely, as awesome as these belts are in the other one, not only does he come with a chair, not only does he come with the Undisputed Era t-shirt, official, and of course the aforementioned hands, but he also has his own actual armband, so that's bonus points right there. Number 4 is that. Number 3 will have to be, this is a tight one though, number 3 is going to be Mr. John Morrison. Fantastic job on the torso right there, really good jacket, and the head is just exquisite, regardless of the bandana sunglass combination, which I'm not terribly thrilled with. Rather it was just the sunglasses alone, but whatever, you can't win them all. That's number 3. Number 2 is going to be the King, Jerry Lawler, with fantastic cape and crown. Excellent color scheme, fantastic attention to detail on the legs. The only reason this is edged out for being from the number 1 position is because his body's a bit ripped and his legs are a bit small and you know, skinny, because he was more of he's a pudgy sort of fellow. He was a bit rotund around the mid. But number one, of course, and as much as it pains me to say this, because I've never been a fan of this bastard, is Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate, with brand new fists, amazing torso, fantastic design on the shorts and boots, fantastic articulation as usual, 3 heads, one of which is fantastic, the second one, this one being second place, good like this, I'm not really sure what they're going for, but still pretty good, and a shirt that really works out very well on this figure. But if this video worked out well for you, please like and subscribe. Beastly Reviews Instagram, Beastly Reviews Twitter. Make sure you check this out on IGTV and YouTube. That's right, check it out on both, because I am just so hungry for views that every single one of them is so appreciated. I take it as a personal favor, a solid, if you will, if you were to look at these videos. Anyway, until next time, there will be more food-related content coming up in very short order. Tip-tip, tally-ho all, and see you next time.